My wife cheated on me with my best friend and blamed me. You work too much, and he understands me better. But when I exposed everything, he ran away and she could only hang her head in shame. I'm 34 years old and my wife, well, ex-wife now, Kale, is 31. We were married for 7 years, no children, both working full-time. Nothing dramatic. I work in information technology, a quiet job. All day at a desk, back and neck usually sore, but it pays well, and I am good at it. Before going into details, I will say that I am not a bodybuilder. I have always been more interested in technology and projects than in exercising. And yes, over time I developed the typical office belly. I was not falling apart or anything. I just did not have a gym body. I would call it a dad bod, even though I am not even a dad. Kale was always naturally thin. She is one of those people who can eat whatever she wants and still wear a size 2, but she also always had this constant need for validation. You probably would not notice it at first. She looks confident, always well-dressed, nice smile, but inside there is a lot of insecurity. She longed to be seen, admired, receive compliments, all of that. About 2 years ago, she got fully into the fitness world. Meal preps on Sundays, morning yoga, expensive gym memberships, the whole package. She joined a place called Elevate Studio, which is like the top gym in our city. Fancy equipment, smoothies, full of influencers who record their routines as if they were an Oscar-nominated film. That is where she got together with her Fit Girls group, Tiffany, Ashley, Brooke, you can imagine. They all look like they came out of a sponsored Instagram post. Brand name leggings, eyelash extensions at the gym, matching water bottles, all married to some ripped guy who has too many selfies on his profile. The whole group seemed to revolve around appearances and fake laughs. A super toxic energy. They never liked me. I was the guy who did not belong to their club. I did not wear sportswear all the time. I did not drink green smoothies. I did not treat squats like a religion. I am almost sure they told Kale that I should join their lifestyle, but not because they cared about my health. No, it was to maintain the perfect image. Kale started hinting that maybe I should go to classes with her or join them at the gym on Sundays. No, thank you. Let us fast forward to Tiffany's wedding day. Beach ceremony, the whole show. Kale did not even seem to want me there. She told me, "It is mostly my group. You probably will not know anyone." Yes, I got the hint, but apparently Tiffany insisted I go, so I said, whatever, I will show up. The wedding was fine. Sunset ceremony, overpriced appetizers, chairs sinking into the sand, everyone dressed like they were on a magazine cover. I behaved, I said hello, I smiled. I talked a little with people who were clearly not interested in me. Then came the change. After the reception, they planned a party on the beach. People started to change. The guys took off their shirts and ran into the water. The girls laughed. There was a bonfire, music from a Bluetooth speaker. It looked fun. I was about to join when Kale came up to me and said, very quietly, "Maybe do not take your shirt off. Just hang back this time." Okay. I did not say anything. I just looked at her for a second. She gave me this look as if she were trying to protect me from embarrassment or something, as if she thought I should thank her for that advice. But I was not insecure about my body. I did not think I was a fitness model, but I did not see myself as a disaster either. I did not hide behind towels. I just did not think about abs as much as she and her friends did. So I walked over to where everyone was, took off my shirt, and jumped into the water. It felt amazing. I swam a bit, chatted with some people, enjoyed the moment. Yes, I noticed Ashley nudge someone with her elbow and whisper something while looking at me. They probably said something about my stomach or whatever. It did not affect me. Their world revolves around being seen and judged like on a reality show. I was just there for the ocean. When I got out, Kale was sitting on a towel with that forced smile she puts on when she is annoyed but wants to seem nice. I just grabbed my shirt, walked past her, and sat down to dry off without a fight, without sarcasm. I was not going to make a scene at someone else's wedding. Later, in the car, she did not say much. She just looked at her phone. But I could feel the judgment radiating from her. Probably texting the group. I told him not to swim, and he did it anyway. And honestly, I did not care. That moment in the water was probably the most relaxed I had felt in weeks. Since then, she became colder, more distant, less conversation, more time at the gym. I did not know it yet, but that beach wedding was the real beginning of our separation. I had not seen how far it would go. After that wedding, everything started to feel weird with Kale. Nothing dramatic, just more distant. She stopped asking me how my day was. She stopped doing those little things that couples do. Like she would make breakfast, but not for me. Or she would come home and walk past me with her gym bag still on. It was not a fight, it was silence. Her time at the gym doubled. She went from going 5 days a week to practically living there and not just to work out. She started spending time with people from the gym outside of hours. Post-yoga, smoothies, meal preps with the girls, group cardio. It felt more like a club than a place to exercise. Then James appeared. I remember the first time she mentioned his name. We were having dinner. Well, I was having dinner. She was on her phone and suddenly she says, James says that training fasted is better for fat loss. I blinked. James? That guy went to college with me. She looked up as if I had told her aliens exist. What? You know Issen? Sort of, I said. We were in the same major for a year. Then he dropped out, disappeared, and reappeared later doing slow-motion push-ups on Instagram. He was already living at the gym back then. She was surprised for a second, then got weirdly excited. I did not know that. Small world. Yes, a very small world. It turns out Issen was now some kind of local fitness celebrity. He was not officially a trainer, but he was a fitness influencer, or whatever you want to call it. Very popular on TikTok, always posting routines with motivational phrases like, pain is the path to power, while showing himself shirtless in his garage. And surprise, he and Kale had become gym buddies. I did not give it much importance. Seriously, I am not a jealous guy. I have female friends, I get it. She said he was helping her adjust her routines and giving her tips. She said he was also married. So I thought, well, if he is really married, what is the problem? But he started appearing more and more in her conversations. She would say things like, Issen told me about this protein blend, or Issen showed me how to improve my squat, as if she were quoting a podcast or something. And then I started seeing her in his TikToks, in the foreground, helping him with weights, laughing in the background, doing those watch us grind videos. I saw a few. In one, she was doing side lunges while he was filming himself flexing. I checked the comments. Someone wrote, is that his girlfriend? They are so cute together. Later I showed her the comment and said, it is a bit weird that people think you are dating him. She looked at me as if I were the problem. It is just social media. People always assume things. You know that. She ignored it and kept scrolling. She did not even blink. Even then I did not assume she was cheating on me. Honestly, I felt that something was not right. Yes, but I had no proof. I kept telling myself it was just an intense gym friendship, maybe, but nothing more. I mean, we had been together for 7 years. You do not accuse someone you married without being completely sure, right? But something still felt wrong. The way she talked about him, as if he were more than a friend. The way she laughed more at his jokes. How she used his full name as if it were a brand. James said this. James does that. It was not just Issen. Always James. Strange, but whatever. And then came the breakdown. One Saturday, I asked her if she wanted to go to the movies or out to dinner, anything together. She was in the kitchen with her protein shake, wearing one of those matching workout sets. She sighed and said, you do not get it. You never have. You do not care about my lifestyle. You do not even try to connect with me. I said, what? I am literally trying to spend time with you right now. She rolled her eyes. No, you are trying to pull me away from something that actually fulfills me. And I will never forget what came next. I think I need space. I need to find myself, alone. I blinked. So what? You are leaving. She crossed her arms. I am going to stay with Amanda for a while, just until I have more clarity. Then she went upstairs, packed a small backpack as if she were going on a weekend retreat, and walked out the door without even looking back. I stood in the living room with the phone in my hand, watching the door close. That was it. 7 years, and she leaves just like that. Not an, I love you. Not a let us talk later. Just, I need to find myself. Great. I did not follow her. I did not call her. I did not text her. I just sat down, turned off the television, and thought, well, I guess she has to find herself. Whatever that means. The silence in the house after she left was not painful. It was more like static, as if someone had put our relationship on pause. But deep down I knew it was not temporary. People do not walk away from a marriage to find themselves, unless they have already found someone else. I had no proof, but I had a gut feeling. and that feeling grew with every hour. A whole week passed with no texts, no calls, no surprise appearances, nothing. It was as if Kale had disappeared. The house was quiet, almost too clean, and yes, strangely peaceful. I did not feel abandoned. It was more like I could finally breathe. No passive-aggressive tension, no awkward silences while she got lost in her phone. Just silence. I was not chasing her either. I did not write. I did not ask how she was, partly because I did not want to give her the satisfaction, but also because I honestly did not even know what to say. How is your self-discovery process going? It did not seem helpful. But she kept appearing on social media. I started seeing her more and more in Issan's TikToks. Same gym, same filter, same self-improvement phrases. He would record his workouts and she would be there, laughing, helping him, or doing squats in the background, conveniently captured by the camera at just the right angle. She seemed like part of his brand. The smile, the perfectly messy bun, the fake laugh for no reason. You know, that vibe. And to be honest, I did not think they were sleeping together. No, at first I did have a weird feeling. But I did not want to jump to that conclusion. We had been married for 7 years. We were not at our best, but I did not see her as a cheater. Controlling, yes. Obsessed with appearances, sure. But unfaithful, it did not fit, at least not right away. Still, something was off. When you live with someone for that long, you notice the little things. Like how she suddenly acted as if Issan were a genius for saying that carbs are not the enemy. How her face would light up when she got a notification from him. The fact that she no longer let me touch her phone, even the way she said his name, Issan James, always the full name, as if it were more impressive to say it that way. At first, I let a lot of those things slide. I thought maybe she was just excited to have a new friend, but I am not going to lie, I had a feeling. The late nights out, the change in attitude, the fact that she left saying she needed space, it all painted a picture I did not want to accept, but I had no proof. There were no suspicious messages or photos, just gut feelings. And I am not one to throw accusations without facts. I told myself if she was doing something, it would eventually come to light. And I did not have to wait long. It was a Tuesday night. I was heating up some leftovers, scrolling on my phone, half watching a YouTube video, when my phone started ringing. I looked at the screen. Amanda. It threw me off. Amanda was one of Kale's closest friends, but we were not close. We had never texted or called each other. If I saw her, it was at birthdays or group gatherings, so seeing her name on the screen, yes, it surprised me. I answered, hello. There was a long pause. Total silence for a moment. I thought the call had dropped. Everything okay? I asked. She sighed. Listen, please do not be mad. Yes, but I need to tell you something. I sat up straight. Okay. She hesitated again and finally said it. Kale has not been staying with me. She is at Issan's house. They have been seeing each other. It hit me, not like a punch, but like something that burned slowly, as if a fuse had been lit. I am sorry, she continued. This has been going on for a while. I did not want to say anything, but I cannot keep lying for her anymore. It has been like a month, maybe more. I did not say anything at first. I just stood there with one hand gripping the phone and the other hovering over a plate of cold food. She added, I swear I thought she was just taking some time to think. But then she started staying at his place and acting like it was totally normal. I feel horrible. We ended the call shortly after. I thanked her for telling me. I told her I valued her honesty, and yes, I meant it. It took courage, especially when her loyalty was supposed to be with Kale. I ended the call, left the phone on the couch, and just stood there. I was not in shock. No, really. The signs were there, just loose, scattered. It is like when you see pieces of a puzzle on the table and you think they do not fit, but then someone puts them together in front of you and boom, it is a picture you recognize. I was not heartbroken. I did not cry. I did not throw things or scream into the void. I just stood there, letting the information settle in my head, like waiting for a download to finish. Then I went to the kitchen, poured myself a glass of water, sat down, and stared at the wall for a while. It was not even sadness I felt. It was clarity. Like, okay, this is how things are now. Have you ever felt so mentally exhausted that you do not even have the energy to get upset? That was me, tired. Tired of pretending everything was normal. Tired of acting like her behavior made sense. Tired of being the only one still trying to be a husband. After that, I did not even bother watching their videos. I did not care what new exercise she was doing at the gym or what cheesy phrases and put in his posts. None of that mattered. She had already made her decision. She did not want space, she wanted a plan B, and now I had proof. That gut feeling was no longer just a hunch, it was a fact. So I did what any calm but furious guy would do. I opened my laptop and looked for divorce lawyers. After the call with Amanda, I did not do what other guys would probably do. I did not make an angry post. I did not fill Kale's phone with messages. I did not drive to Isen's house with a dramatic speech prepared. I just stood there looking at the microwave clock as if it owed me answers. It was not denial. I knew she had cheated on me. It just did not hit me the way you would imagine. I was not crying. I was not in pieces. I was annoyed, not because she cheated, but because of how pathetically lazy she had been with everything. She really left me believing she needed space to find herself, and she went to hook up with a guy she met doing glip bridges. Please, at least make the lie sound believable. You said you were going to find yourself, not move into Isen's guest room and appear in the background of his thirsty TikToks. So I accepted the loss and decided I was not going to just sit there. The next morning I got up early, earlier than I had in weeks, maybe months. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and started looking for divorce lawyers. Not family therapy, not marriage counseling, divorce. I did not want explanations or closure or one last talk to wrap it all up with a bow. I wanted it to be over officially, legally. I found a guy with good reviews, filled out the online consultation request, and by noon I was sitting in his office. The guy looked like he had seen thousands of cases like mine. He explained the process, asked a few questions, and then I dropped the only thing that mattered. We have a prenuptial agreement. He smiled as if it were his favorite phrase. That will speed things up. Of course it will, I told him. He filed the papers that same day. Kale was served the next morning, one of those fancy deliveries right as she was pulling into the gym parking lot. It probably ruined her mood before she could film another "Get Ready With Me" for her 200 followers. She called me that same night. I let it go to voicemail. She texted me 2 minutes later. I guess Amanda told you, and yes, it is true. Isen and I are going to make it public. I just replied, good for you. And I meant it, because I could finally stop pretending I was in a marriage. I was out. No more fake smiles. No more awkward silences. No more being her +1 while her friends sized me up as if I were some poor project husband. An hour later she called again. This time I answered because I was curious to see what she would say when she did not get the reaction she expected. She started with, "Are you really not going to say anything?" I told her. I already did. I said, "Good for you." Silence. I could hear her breathing on the other end of the phone, probably processing the fact that I was not freaking out, that I was not begging or yelling or demanding explanations. Probably a new experience for her. Finally, she said, "I did not want it to happen like this." It is always that phrase. No, nobody ever wants it to happen. It just happens as if by magic while they are sweating together in a private gym and filming TikToks. 1 minute you are working on your abs. The next you are moving into the guy's apartment and telling your husband you need to find yourself. I did not say any of that. I just replied, "Well, it happened, so here we are." She started to get emotional. Her voice cracked. I think she tried to squeeze out a tear, but it did not work. She asked if there was any chance we could talk. I told her, "We are talking." Then she said, "I meant in person." I told her, "No, I am good." She was quiet again and finally muttered, "Okay." That was the last real conversation we had. She signed the divorce papers 2 days later. It was clean, no drama, no court. The prenuptial agreement settled everything. She did not take anything beyond what she brought 7 years ago. No alimony, no division of assets, nothing. She left with a couple of yoga mats and her collection of shaker bottles. I spent the next week just existing, not sad, not happy, just resetting. I took a few days off work, did a deep clean of the house, threw out a bunch of junk, packed up what she had left behind, unfollowed her friends on social media. I blocked Isen. I blocked her too. Not because I was angry, but because I did not care anymore. It felt weird, but good, like closing a tab that had been open for too long. I did not tell many people at first. My family knew, a couple of close friends, but I was not broadcasting it like a life update. I did not want pity. I did not want speeches about "she did not deserve you." Anyway, I knew what this was. She wanted a different life, and instead of building it with me, she found a shortcut with someone who had abs and a ring light. May she enjoy it. But I wanted something better. Not a better partner, not a better body, just a better version of myself. For me, I was done being the background character in my own relationship. I was done hearing that I should do this or that I needed to do that. I was not going to mold my life around someone else's approval anymore. So I did what I always do when everything goes to hell. I made a plan. I bought a new pair of running shoes. I got a gym membership. Not at a fancy studio, not at a place full of influencers or smoothies. Just a basic gym with old iron plates, people who grunt a lot, and who do not record everything. And then I started going. Not to prove anything to Kale, not to make Issen jealous, not for revenge, just because I was angry, not at them, but at myself, for having let things get out of control, for settling, for not having seen the signs earlier, for giving someone the best years of my life without demanding the same in return. I did not care how long it would take. I was going to build something better from scratch, one rep at a time. So I started going to the gym, not to a fancy place with eucalyptus towels and mirrors everywhere. Just a solid, worn-out place with rusty dumbbells, noisy treadmills, and guys who wear the same t-shirt 4 days in a row. No ring lights, no influencers, no one recording their routines or doing side poses. Just hard floor, sweat, and effort. And it worked for me. The first week was tough. Muscles I had forgotten existed were aching. My back felt like it had been whipped. My knees creaked every time I went up the stairs, but I kept going every day, even when I did not want to. Even when I was tired, in a bad mood, or felt like staying in bed. I also started eating better. No more frozen pizzas or drive-through dinners. I learned to cook real food. Nothing fancy, just chicken, rice, vegetables. Repeat. I threw out all the junk from the pantry, bought one of those huge reusable water bottles, filled it constantly, and carried it around as if I were on a mission. And honestly, I started to feel good, not just physically, but mentally. I started waking up earlier, going to bed before midnight, breathing fresh air, lifting heavy things, and putting them back down. Everything started to clear my head. It was as if my body were slowly erasing all the emotional junk I had been carrying for the last few years. The results came faster than I expected. I lost 10 kilograms in the first month. I was surprised. I was not even doing anything extreme, just eating well, going to the gym 5 times a week, and walking instead of driving. Nothing extreme, no miracle program, just consistency. By the 3rd month, I had lost a total of 23 kilograms. Even my posture changed. I was no longer slouching. My shoulders were back. Shirts started to fit me differently. I was no longer hiding behind giant sweatshirts. I started buying clothes that actually fit me well, jeans that were not baggy, t-shirts that did not look like parachutes. I even got a new haircut, a clean fade, a trimmed beard. For the first time in years, I looked in the mirror and thought, yeah, this guy is okay. But the weird thing was that Kale kept appearing on my For You page. I was scrolling on TikTok and there she was, doing yoga stretches on a balcony, trying on gym outfits, giving fitness tips with Issen's voice narrating in the background. It was obvious she was trying to ride his influencer wave, but it was not working. The views were low. The comments were dry. Most of them came from random bots or the same 3 people cheering her on in every post. It seemed like she was trying to create a new online identity, the trademark fitness girlfriend, but it did not look real. It looked forced, acted, as if she were playing a role someone else wrote for her. So I blocked her and Issen too, not because I was resentful, but because I was done. I did not want them in my feed. I did not want reminders. I did not care what new supplement they were promoting or what trendy routine they were posting. I had my own thing, and for the first time, I was not doing it for anyone but myself. I kept training. I hit personal records. I lifted more than my own body weight. I started running without getting out of breath. I even started getting compliments from strangers at the gym. A guy came up to me and said, "Bro, you have been putting in the work. I have seen you since March." It made my day. At work, they started to notice too. I was no longer just the information technology guy. I was him. "Hey, you look different." My boss asked me if I was training for something. I told him, yes, for life. He laughed. I did not. And then one morning I stopped by a local coffee shop I had not been to in a while. I went in, ordered my usual, and waited by the counter. That is when I saw Amanda. She was at a corner table with her laptop, drinking something with too much foam. She looked at me, then did a double take. At first, nothing, just a polite confusion. Then she tilted her head and said, "Wait, I know you." I laughed. "Wow, do I look that different?" She squinted for a second, and then her eyes widened. "James." "Yes." "Oh my God, what the hell happened to you?" I smiled. "I got my life back." She stood up, looked me up and down, and said, "Kale lost something big. Look at you." I let it slide. Well, she made her decisions. We ended up sitting together. We talked for a while. She caught me up on everything I had been avoiding. She told me that Isin and Kale were posting like crazy for a while, trying to build a fitness couple brand. She said it was very cringy, but then an unexpected twist. Amanda tells me, "Did you hear what happened to them?" I shook my head. "No, I have them blocked." "What?" She laughed. "Kale was caught cheating on Isin. Someone saw her at a rooftop bar kissing some random guy. Everything blew up on social media. There was an internet drama. People dug up their old posts and started making fun of her. She lost almost all her followers. Brands dropped her. Isin disappeared for a while too." I leaned back in my chair. "She cheated on the guy she cheated on me with." Amanda nodded. "Yes, full circle." I was not even surprised. It made perfect sense. Kale did not want a better life. She wanted attention, and when she stopped getting it, she went looking for it elsewhere. Amanda looked at me and said, "Honestly, you are glowing." I raised an eyebrow. "Glowing?" She laughed. "You know what I mean." She was flirting a lot, not in a weird way. Just casual, playful. We talked for another half hour or so. Then she said she had to get back to work. When I stood up to leave, she smiled and said, "You should stop by here more often." I shrugged. "Maybe I will." And as I walked out, I realized something I had not felt in a long time. I was okay. Not trying to prove anything. Not looking for closure, just okay. A couple of weeks after running into Amanda at that coffee shop, I already had a good rhythm. Work, gym, real food, good sleep. Life was no longer a drama, and for once I was not waiting for an apology or a twist in the story. I was just living. Amanda and I texted a bit. Nothing serious, just memes, music, recommendations, small things. She kept it light, but she also dropped hints. "If you ever feel like getting coffee," or "let me know if you ever need someone to taste test your meal prep." I was in no rush for anything, but it felt good to have someone interested in me again. In the real me, not the version with abs, just me. And then something weird happened. One afternoon, I was finishing my routine at the gym. I had cleaned the bench, put my headphones around my neck, and was heading to the water fountain when I saw a guy standing near the cable machines. He looked familiar. Athletic build, hoodie, baseball cap. He turned and smiled. "James, bro, no way." It was Isin, the guy who, knowingly or not, was living with my wife and was now 10 feet away from me, as if we were college buddies running into each other at a gas station. I blinked. "Isin." He walked towards me as if we were old friends. "Brother, it has been so long. I did not even know you worked out here." I just nodded slightly. "I started a few months ago." "Bro, you look amazing. So different from when we were in college. You lost all that weight." "Yeah," I said. "I got in shape. Life forced a reset." He laughed. "I get you." I was not in the mood to chat. I was still recovering from my last set and had 5 things on my mind. None of them was reconnecting with the guy who unknowingly participated in my divorce. Then he said something that changed everything. "So, how have you been, brother?" "Married, dating someone." I looked at him. "Divorced." He looked surprised. "Wow, I am sorry." "Since when?" I raised an eyebrow. "A couple of months." "Maybe you know her." He looked confused. "Really? Kale?" His smile slowly faded. His face froze for a second. "Wait, Kale, you're Kale." I nodded. "Yeah, she was my wife." There were a full 10 seconds of silence. His eyes dropped to the floor, then back up. "Dude, I did not know." "I swear, brother. She never said she was married. Not a single time." I could see it on his face. He was not faking. The guy looked genuinely sick, as if he had just realized he had been sleeping with someone else's wife without knowing. "She told me she was going through a breakup," he continued. "But she made it sound like it was mutual, like they had already split. She told me they were just roommates, bro, that they were separated but still living together for a while." I was devastated. "Brother, I am so sorry. If I had known, seriously, I never would have talked to her like that." She painted it as if you were a lazy ex who never did anything. "Sounds familiar." I told him, now with a slight smile. He sat on the bench next to us and shook his head. I thought I was done with the drama, really. And then she went and cheated on me too. I already knew that part thanks to Amanda, but hearing it from him was like closing a weird circle. I sat down too, leaned back, and nodded. Yeah, Amanda told me. He let out a dry laugh. It was bound to happen. The whole internet tore her apart. I lost like half my followers just for being associated with her. My inbox was a mess for weeks. What happened? I asked. A guy filmed her at a rooftop bar. She was literally making out with a stranger while I was at home, editing our stupid workout videos. The clip went viral. The comments were brutal. Makes sense, I said. We sat there for a while. Then he said, "It is crazy, man. I never connected you with her. I should have asked. I should have investigated more." Hey, I told him, "It is not your fault. She knew what she was doing." He nodded. Still, I owe you one. If you ever want a workout partner, let me know. No social media, I promise. We ended up training together a few days later. Just weights. No cameras. No bro content. Just two guys helping each other out, talking about life, and laughing at how crazy the whole situation was. The following week, Isan made a video. Not the typical inspirational gym content. It was rawer, just him talking to the camera about patterns, red flags, and learning to ask better questions. He never mentioned Kale by name, but anyone who followed him before knew exactly who he was talking about. The comments exploded. The people who had supported their fit couple content turned on her. Everything got out of control. Kale's account went dead. The last time I checked from an alternate account, not my main one, she had not posted in 2 weeks and her last video only had hate comments. Poetic. So yeah, Kale disappeared from the internet after Isan's video. And honestly, I did not expect that. I thought she would try to defend herself or make one of those fake crying clips, talking about mental health and being misunderstood. But no, nothing. Total silence. She stopped posting. Her account is still active, but now it is a graveyard. Her last video had a caption like, "New beginnings," with her doing yoga on a balcony, but the comments turned it into a war zone. They tore her apart. Someone even found an old video of her cooking with Isan and commented, "Wow, I did not know she was also a professional at cheating." And me, I just watched from the outside. I never said anything, never commented, never posted any victory message. I did not need to. I was not trying to win the internet. I had already won in real life. I kept going to the gym, eating well. I hit another milestone, 27 kilograms down in total, stronger than ever. And I could finally do pull-ups without it looking like a comedy. I slept better, my skin was clearer, and even work felt easier now that I was no longer carrying someone else's emotional baggage. 24 hours ago, I also ran into Amanda again. This time it was not a coincidence. She texted me and said, "You still owe me that second coffee." I had never promised it, but whatever, smooth move. I told her sure, and we met. Same place as last time. She looked good, natural, relaxed. We talked for over an hour about nonsense, series, work, horrible gym playlists. She still had that subtle flirtation going on. She would say things like, "I bet you get a lot of looks now," and "I cannot believe I used to think Kale had good taste." I was not flirting back, but I was not cutting the conversation short either. Several people have asked me if we are dating, so let me make it clear. No, we are not a couple, but she is definitely interested. And honestly, if I ever wanted to start something new, it would probably be with her. But for now, I am not chasing anything. I do not want to jump from one disaster to another. I like waking up alone. I like having my space. I like not having someone in my ear telling me which almond butter is clean. And then the call came. One afternoon, my phone vibrated. Unknown number. I almost let it ring, but something told me to answer. "Hello." Silence for a second. Then a familiar voice. "Hello, it is Kale." My face did that slow blink. "Of course." She laughed nervously. "Wow, you sound different." "Yeah, well, I am." Pause. Then she said, "I saw a video of you. Isan uploaded a clip of you deadlifting. At first, I did not even recognize you." I did not say anything. She continued, "You look amazing." "Seriously, I never thought that." "Uh-huh," I interrupted her. "That is kind of the point, is it not?" Another awkward silence. I just wanted to say that. I do not know. I guess I ruined everything. "I guess so. I was stupid," she said. "You did not deserve how I treated you." It felt late, like someone apologizing 5 years after stealing your bike. By that time, you have already bought a new one and moved on with your life. She tried to change the subject. I saw your pictures. You really changed everything. If I am being honest, I did not think you were capable. Let us not do that, I told her. What? That you surprised me thing, as if I had finally become worthy of your time. I did not do this for you. You are only just noticing now because it is not about you anymore. She was quiet, and then dropped the classic. I just wish things had been different. And I told her, yeah, me too, but not in the way you think. Then I hung up, blocked the number, and just like that, I finally felt finished. Not a fake finished. Not a I am over her, while I secretly check her account. Truly finished. Closed. Done. Thanks for participating. Since then, life has been simple, clean, quiet. I have kept everything in order. I wake up early, go to the gym, do my job well, cook my meals, sleep well. My routine is mine. No one criticizing what I wear, no one asking why I do not care about macros or why I do not take progress pictures. Just peace. I see my friends more now. Real friends. People who do not measure your worth by your waistline or the number of followers. I even started helping a coworker get in shape. He asked for tips after seeing the change. It feels good to give back. About Amanda. Like I said, nothing serious, but she is still around, still sending flirty texts like, you better not be getting handsome for someone else. She says we should go out more. I am not ruling it out. She is great, real, relaxed, and she was the only one who told me the truth when it mattered most. So yeah, she has earned a place at the table if the time comes. But for now, my fridge is full, my mind is clear, I have a fresh haircut, and a personal record in deadlift that I never thought I would reach in my life. And no matter what they say about revenge bodies or transformations, here is the truth. The real achievement is peace. Not looking better, not being desired, not responding with digs. It is walking through the rubble without flinching, while everyone else's drama burns itself out. And that is exactly what I am doing. Update. Yes, after all, I thought I was done hearing from Kale, but a few weeks ago she called me out of the blue. I almost did not answer. Unsaved number, but something told me to. The first thing she said was, "You look amazing." At first I did not even recognize you. She said she saw a video Isan uploaded of me hitting a new deadlift record. I stayed silent, and then she dropped the classic. I did not know you had that in you. I replied directly. Yes, you did not know. And I hung up. No shouting, no speech. I just hung up. She called again a few days later, but she is blocked now. I am not opening that door again, not even a crack. She made her decisions, and I have already moved on. About Amanda. Yes, we are still talking, and she flirts a lot. Nothing subtle. She keeps saying things like, you should ask me out before someone else does. We are not a thing. Not officially, at least. But it is great to have her around, and she is real. And besides, she was the only one who told me the truth when no one else did. Who knows what will happen? But honestly, I am not chasing anything right now. Life is simple. I get up early, train hard, eat well, work, sleep. I am at peace. And that is the biggest victory. Not revenge. Not followers, not even abs. Just peace.